The title of this podcast is The Cost of Carrying Things from the Past is My Life. Wow, that's a serious title. And for me, it's been true. The things that I've carried from my past have literally cost me years of experiences that could have been very different than the ones that I had because I was carrying those things from my past. And those things included my childhood, past hurts that I felt or experienced. And the definition of the past means that it's something that has already happened. There's nothing I can do, and I wish that I could, but there's nothing I could do to make them go away. There's no magic wand to make this not happen. My resistance to it happening or me holding on to it is if it defines who I am or my future has been a cost to me, and it's cost me experiences. And I can give you several examples, one of which is my childhood. For many years, I held on to things that actually happened. The abuse, that I was on the receiving end from my stepfather, and today I don't confuse that behavior with who he is, with his humanity. And so that was a gift in itself to let that go so that part of my past was no longer costing me in my life. And so that was a gift. Other examples are relationships that didn't go the way that I thought they should or that ended. In those relationships, projecting those, carrying those, and as if they're still happening right now, was also a cost. I see people that go through divorces, and for years, when they reflect or talk about their divorce, is with negativity, is with it being a horrible experience. And perhaps it was. Like, I don't want to minimize what the challenges that come with some relationships, not at all. But holding on to it of an event that's already happened, that you can do nothing about, you can't erase it, that's happened. Holding on to it, that is a choice. Now, it may be an unconscious choice, but it's nonetheless a choice that will cost you your life. And I see people do that, as a person whose biological race is defined as Black. There have been quite a few things in history in this country that have not been pleasant, to say the least. And I could totally hold on to those. But what will it cost me? It will cost me my life. That doesn't mean I don't go about trying to improve them. And fortunately, I have some amazing friends who've been allies and advocates and, just great people to be on this path with, that have been champions of my growth, both professionally and personally, as well as spiritually. So, but if I held on to the past and been confined to my limits about what people could contribute to my life and what I can contribute to theirs, then I'm pretty certain that it would have cost me many experiences that I now enjoy because I go into every relationship with an open heart, which is something I didn't before. And there were many years ago that I made a conscious choice not to be imprisoned by my past, to let that go, to see everything that comes up in my past as an opportunity to let it go. Again, this doesn't mean those things didn't happen. They did. And I got stuck in them. My past, in many ways, defined how I saw the world, how I went into relationships, how I viewed family, and all those things. But in letting it go, it's created a completely different experience of life. I'll give you a couple examples. Let's say, like, people may say, well, my past doesn't do that for me. It's made me who I am. Well, if it has it been a positive thing or has it not? Give you an example. Here's an example. Let's say that you were a child when your parents went through a divorce. And then you hear somebody share, as an adult, you hear somebody share, like, hey, did you hear that so-and-so, they're going through a divorce? And you go right to, oh my God, those poor kids. Like, that's not happening to you, but you're projecting and taking that on as if it's happening to you. And so you lack the space or capacity to see that some relationships come to an end, that they run their course, And this might actually be in the best interest of a child, that not all divorces are bad or like the one that you experienced. But if you hold on to that, it will close you from being able to be a comfort to both members of the couple that is going into a direction, to really show up in a way with the kids to where you see them clearly, and not your stuff that you bring to the table when you think of that family. So that's one example. The example that I brought up again before with race, if I only saw race through one lens of all the horrific things that have happened, then I would miss all of the beauty that's happened along the way in terms of people that have been advocates for inclusion, diversity, equity. I would be able to allow myself to witness the beauty and the joy that people that look different bring to each other's lives, into this great country, into the world. But if I'm projecting my past into every interaction with someone that looks different than me, then I'm not seeing them. I'm only seeing what my limits of of the other person are. And I can't see beyond those. And so it's really important, I've learned, not to allow my past to really dictate my current experiences, because it will cost me my life. And if you look at your relationships, if you pick one person that you have difficulty with, that person can actually be an opportunity. That relationship can be an opportunity for you to grow, not to change them, but for you to grow. Like, how do you keep an open heart to them? Like, even though you might disagree with their behavior or the choices they make. The same thing goes with your past. When I let go of past hurts and relationships or past experiences that I didn't like at the time, it created a world of possibilities for me. One of those experiences that I carried was the history of living in the South, be it in places in which every a lot of places where you go, you're reminded of the legacy of an oppressive period for people of color. But because I was captive to my definition of the past, uh, and I'm not ignoring that's not true, because I lived it. It did. But because I was locked in on only that, I missed the beauty of the South for decades, of how kind people are. I painted everybody with a broad brush that they were that way, and they weren't. I mean, I ignored the fact that when I was a kid, one of my next door's neighbors, who happened to be white, they invited us into their home as kids, messy kids who've been playing outside, rolling in the grass all day. We come into their home, and they set us down, set us at the kitchen table, and treated us like friends. I mean, it was beautiful. But if I'm locked in my past, I would act as if those experiences are the exceptions, as opposed to they're really the rule. There are more people out there like that than people out there who are living life with a closed heart. So I say that uh, as a example of what letting your go of your past will do for you. It will expose you and make you present to all the beauty that's available to you in this world. And there's so much of it. And then that becomes the story of your life, as opposed to the alternative of projecting your past to the present, in which it will literally cost you your life, your experiences. That becomes the story of your life. You're not even living life. You reliving your past in every interaction, every person, in every situation. And as I've said before, that's one way to do it. So thank you for listening.